5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what's up, everybody? We're here with Rusty and Alikai for Common Ground. We're doing a bi-weekly with who we feel is somebody in San Clemente that is either legendary or has something to do with the town in a positive manner. So tonight we've got one of our friends and guests, known through town as Bong, but really John Kearns. And he's a local of the town and a legend of the town. So me and Rusty, we're just going to kind of jump into our friend here and kind of go through some stuff. So first thing we want to do, where are you from, John? Originally, I feel you're from Florida, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Broward County.
Tell us about that growing up, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of drug cartel warfare, and we moved to Sebastian Inlet where the waves were good. It was awesome.
Did you happen to know Mike Cox out there too? Because he's from Broward County.
No, I know those guys are. I didn't meet him till Jim Duhamel was my neighbor.
Okay.
But I did know Adam Walsh there.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Who's Adam Walsh?
He's that kid that got killed from America's Most Wanted.
Ah, okay. Well, we were kind of talking about that a little offline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, well, that's awesome. So, you kind of ended up in more of the beach area out there in Florida?
Well, and I moved after that happened. My mom got all scared, so we moved closer to Cape Canaveral. But I happened to land by Sebastian Inlet, which was like an awesome wave for like 20 years or whatever.
Rad, man. Well, I grew up with you, and I know Rusty has gotten to know you a little bit later in life. But like, you obviously surf, skate, kind of, probably BMX biking at the time. But like, so when you got over that area, what got you into surfing? Because I'm assuming that's when you started surfing.
No, I surfed in Fort Lauderdale on those styrofoam surfboards, like the dime store ones. I remember I broke
the white ones.
Yeah, when they no fins and it had the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that's the future of wave pool design, actually. But anyways,
okay.
I remember frothing as a kid, like when I broke so many, and I was waiting for the dime store, like where you go to buy beach chairs or whatever. Got more in the store, and they put them in the window, and I'd be like, "Mom, stop!" But yeah, my dad pushed me on a little like 6-inch wave on one of those, and that was it.
Okay, so just a little bit more too. You I kind of know the answer, so it's not really fair. But you got brothers, sisters. You're only child. Obviously, I don't think you are, but
I got 2 brothers, a sister, and I actually got an older half sister.
Okay, cool. Did you guys all live together out there, or was it kind of separated more? Or?
My half sister lived with us like twice.
Okay.
She was always trouble.
Okay, so besides the half sister is more that. So like what? When you did you skate back then too?
Yeah, we had a quarter pipe. My dad built me. I remember I was so stoked when he got the jigsaw out and cut it out, and I had like a gator, pink and black gator, and rode the quarter pipe.
The one with kind of
the
The one I think everybody had at one point. Yeah, understandable. Before
I was right by Mark Lake's ramp. I tried to skate the Suntree ramp.
Okay.
In like 6th grade, and the thing was huge and sketchy, big old splinters from Florida rain, and
Nice.
And there was a little ditch there too.
Okay, so you were skating, surfing, kind of all that, and then at what point brought you out to? Did you come to San Clemente first when you came out to California, or did you go somewhere else first on the way to get here?
No, we moved to Hawaii because my aunt
really
lived there forever, and she had some business in Honolulu where she made the first like computer software swimsuits for the hotels.
Oh,
so
no way.
My mom could come there and sew.
So what do you mean by computer software?
Like it was like 80s, so it was like they took a picture of you and your swimsuit, and then they made a custom one within 24 hours. Got it to the hotel. Yeah,
there's a future back then, Rusty.
Well, see, this is all new to me. I don't know about this. I want to know.
We had a couple people sewing.
So how old are you when you get to Hawaii?
How old was I? I was 16.
16?
Yeah. 88.
So you're okay. So you're really pretty. Yeah, that's not like you were young enough to like go. It didn't really matter. You already like made friends and kind of had to be.
Yeah, I
stuff.
wanted to go back to Florida. Actually, back
of course,
then.
because you're in high school already at that point, huh?
Yeah, and then I spent a year there. But living on the island sucks. There's no chicks or nothing. You can only move there if you're married. Basically.
Okay. Which island were you on? Oahu?
Oahu. I lived in Alikai. It's like a Mission Bio.
I know actually what you're talking about, but Rusty might not. And
yeah, it's like where all the
I don't. I've never been
Hallies
there.
live, really. But
Howdy to you too, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Little North Shore reference right there.
Mahalo, leg got a shotgun in it.
So because I think for the whole point of this, and obviously the biggest thing that we all know you from San Clemente. So I'm actually.
I want to talk about 5G. 5G is weaponized.
We'll get there. We'll get there in just a sec. So this.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah, we'll get there. This is I just want to kind of get into. So how did you get to San Clemente though?
You know, Hawaii is expensive as shit. My dad was working at like the Tri-City motorcycle place, and he loved motorcycles or whatever, and
It's okay.
Huh? Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, did you come to Lake Elsinore first?
Yeah, I lived in Lake Elsinore in 3rd grade. I forgot about that. That's when I got my first fist
Wait,
fight.
whoa. 3rd grade? That means you actually came from Florida here and then back?
Yeah. Well, when my dad was on the run, he got arrested on the 91 freeway by the feds.
I like how he just adds in on the run 91 freeway.
Well,
yeah, we were living in 91. I remember the fucking DA agent that lived in our neighborhood had us come over and play with the kids, and then the mom came out and told me my parents were bad parents, and while they were keeping us there, they were harassing my mom at the house by herself, like trying to get her, like, you're guilty of this, and she was just crying, going, "Get the hell out of my house!" Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But,
I mean,
so we were hiding
you had
out,
some
and
weird
then
baggage right then at that
we
point.
left our house and everything, and we came up there. Some kid ran the Zodiac in my dad's name on a sandbar full of contraband. My dad wasn't there.
No. I've seen Shawshank Redemption.
You know,
everyone's a
he never got to really go.
Everyone's innocent.
He
right?
never really got to go to court. for this
Everyone's
matter.
innocent, man.
But it was weird that they had me come over there, and like, you know, so we wouldn't see it. It was good that they wouldn't see it, but like to keep us. Oh man, I don't know. I don't trust the government.
Okay,
Wow.
so you end up in San Clemente, and then because I think once we get past all just the introduction shit, that's really where
We lived there. We ran out of money, so we moved back to San Clemente because I had 2 uncles that lived here forever. One up in the Ortegas, and one that always served old mans his whole life. Like
so
70s.
just to make sure I'm on point with it, you really didn't get here probably till like your senior year then, huh?
No, I went.
Because you're 16 in Hawaii, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe
but
sophomore
I
year?
failed a year, so like I was.
Wow.
I moved from what it was when I moved from South Florida.
Yep.
To by Sebastian Inlet near Cape Canaveral. The schools were more advanced than down in the ghetto.
Oh, so
And
grade
they
level.
held
Oh,
me
gotcha.
back
So
in
that
first and
threw
second grade.
off your grade
Yeah.
level, right? So it didn't. Okay.
So I
see
moved
what
here
you're
as
saying.
a sophomore for 2 months, and then 11th grade and 12th grade. I graduated in 91 or whatever.
So Hawaii was kind of a weird situation too, because
I was only there 11 months.
gotcha.
My dad loved it though. It was pretty cool.
And that's where literally,
Wow.
dude.
So you graduated in 91?
Yeah.
I graduated in 92. And it's been a long time, huh?
Yeah. You know what?
It's amazing, but it seems like it's gone by so quickly.
It's
actually,
so
at
quick.
The same time.
And a lot of the only things I can think about that is my uncle used to say, "Why don't you go to school? You're never going to see so many good-looking women dressed up
Wow.
that want to talk to you for the rest of your life."
That's true.
And then for every young man that doesn't want to go to high school,
True.
there you go.
Hey, I agree with him because I always made the joke that like, where else will you have the opportunity where some hot chick is just stuck next to you for an hour and she can't go anywhere? Eventually you're going to wear her down, maybe borrow a pencil or something, literally.
And
Start a
social
conversation,
pressure that
right?
you're growing up, and
Of
everybody's
course.
got to meet
But
people.
you're literally in
Trying to
this little
click.
box.
I want to be in a clique.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, yeah, that's that. It kind of. So okay. So we kind of have an idea. You know what? You've been kind of from coast to coast, and really for this country, because if you consider Hawaii really the other coast, you've been all over. But it kind of gets leads me into my next question. I really always kind of really wanted to get into, and he's got some more. But that whole time you've been a vegan, right?
Yeah.
So you were raised a vegan all your life, right?
My dad got initiated as a Sikh, actually.
See, even better. Awesome.
And then
tell us a little bit about that.
Kirpal Singh. My mom wrote him to name us.
Okay.
And she wanted some crazy Indian name. He's name him John, Paul, and Mary. You know, like why fuck him up? You know. But it was good advice.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, man. Like, yeah, that's.
But yeah, I'm glad I never ate meat. I really don't. I think there's.
But is it one of those?
I think
things
it
that
lowers
you've
your
never
vibration to
Okay.
eat meat. I do.
Okay, because I mean,
And especially
I'm
like
not
if
gonna.
you're Indian, you hunt it, you kill it, use it all. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
But like if you keep an animal in a warehouse and that's its life, then that energy of that animal living in that warehouse or whatever is in that food.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah,
so,
well,
what about
I
say
think
the
there
Cherokee?
is some truth
Like, say
to
the
that.
Cherokee that only lived off of buffalo and only didn't
Yeah,
barely ate vegetables,
Or
right?
even like in
now,
Germany.
would that be okay?
Yeah.
So,
If I catch a fish, I'll eat it.
really?
Yeah.
So you've eaten meat then before?
I've tried. I've eaten a little fish, and I actually tried a bite of everything I think about once.
Because I
Right.
kind of bring it up because I think it's an interesting conversation because you've been one to be, in my mind, I've always find it ironic that John here has been one to not eat meat and kind of stay a little healthier than that. But
Well, I like to
you've been a
party.
little looser on the partying side,
For sure.
and you've had a little bit more fun, and
Cigarettes.
you're willing to
Whatever.
do cigarettes and like, which anybody would go, wait, the guy won't eat a burger because he thinks it's bad, but he's willing to smoke a cig, and you're like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. But so what
But
brought
I think
you to that?
it's
Okay, or how do you feel about that?
I think it's different.
Okay.
Like, I don't think cigarettes are good for you at all. But like,
Not that you do,
yeah,
but I just
smoking weed
more
gives you a
than.
different outlook on stuff, or
Okay.
like different things give you a different perspective.
So is it more of a holistic side when you talk about maybe not necessarily self-medication, but more when you go on the drug side of more even being a Sikh, you might be seeing a different level and using stuff for that.
Sikhs are
So are
against
you
that.
a
They don't
Sikh?
drink.
Or
They
is it
don't.
just
No, my
your
dad was
dad?
initiated. I would like to be initiated, you know, but you have to like to become one. They have like words they only give out to people that are initiated. Like I
Okay.
used to ask my dad and mom.
Just
all
like
the time,
anything
Tell
like
me
that,
what
yeah.
the you know.
The magic
and they're
words
like,
are.
no, you can't without it. You know you'll mess yourself up.
Right, right. Interesting.
Yeah, I get
It was
that
pretty-
as a person that was kind of like that. You were.
My dad was
Yeah.
into it, and he meditated a lot. He was tripping.
Did he do TM to it all?
But he smuggled a lot of weed, and he raced motorcycles too. So.
So there was the counter to it. Right?
Well,
Yeah, did you get into like TM or any transcendental meditation or anything
Yeah,
like that?
but I'm not really not disciplined enough. You know, when I was younger, I did a lot more.
Did you really?
And I still try to, but like, I think it's more with all the internet and everything else everything else, people are manipulated.
Well, okay.
And
you know what? That can
makes it
that
harder to
can
concentrate on
segue us
stuff like
perfectly for what me and Rusty and you I think want to have the fun talk. Right? That was really just to kind of get to know you and kind of give you a little background because there might be people that literally don't know who you are. So it's like it doesn't hurt to just kind of give a story of who you are and stuff like that.
I wanted to wear glasses.
me
Well,
too.
we love you and we know who you are, but no, man, this is where you can kind of have fun, man. What do you want to bring up, man? 5G, fucking manipulation. Go ahead.
Oh shit.
Or you were just talking about manipulating? Because
No,
sometimes
I
it puts
mean,
you on the spot. Maybe
5G is you'll be able to be manipulated and targeted in your household
In a
from a
far more
keyboard.
direct way.
And if they got your DNA too, they can totally isolate you with other people in the house, and they can make you sick and die.
It's interesting because I do work for a phone company.
And it is, and the world is overcrowded, and our water is polluted, and we're running out
you
of
know
resources.
what? I do want to ask you one thing because you talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm not. We'll get back to 5G in a sec, but you brought up, which Rusty didn't know, where you were talking about building of plastic to save the ocean.
No, they're not doing it to save the ocean. They're doing it to cover the ocean so it doesn't evaporate.
Sorry, to not to evaporate.
So it won't rain.
What
to make
what
it a drier
I think
planet.
we were talking about
And
this.
monosuits, whatever that company, they're involved in that. That's why they have that seed. And that's why they spray Roundup in the air and all kinds of shit.
Which Roundup's just been ruined, been actually proven to be fucking cancerous.
And I'll take it even crazier. That I don't even think that the things that are being done are done by humans.
Okay,
I don't even.
Please elaborate.
Really?
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's
this.
Now, are we going lizard people, or are we saying another being?
People, a hybrid.
Okay.
Third, fourth, intermediate dimension being, spirit, whatever. I think it's more like those elite bloodsucker, gland-eating people, and that are having remote control AI planes spray out, and I think it will get as bad as Terminator. That AI will eventually get too smart.
You know what? To compliment what you said, and I think Rusty knows what I'm talking about. Have you seen what they're doing in China right now with the coronavirus? They have and just we've got a guest over here too, so I don't want to be rude. But no, the drones they've actually put peroxide and other things in drones and been flying around spraying it throughout.
Shut up.
And trucks just sprayed on there. I mean, not to say that. See, this is what we're saying. We're so open to the conversation because you can see so many ways to connect different things. Because that's literally what is going on in China right now.
And what's scary is sorry.
No,
I heard that a bunch of medical DNA experts or whatever, virus experts, say that thing is man-made, that there's a piece of the AIDS virus put in the coronavirus.
I keep hearing they ate bats and snakes, so that's...
Yeah, but where you'll get it is from mice. This is where you'll get it.
So do you think... that kind of makes sense, because snake
What
and
about
rat...
hamsters?
Hamsters, I don't know, but it...
But it would make sense. Rodents are ate by snakes,
like wild rodents. Wild rodents.
So I can get it from my snakes.
If you ate your snake, but you like to put your snake on your arm and get water with it.
Man, I remember.
I'm not a snake person.
Last time I had a pet snake, it got out and it was loose in the house, and we couldn't find it forever. And it was a red corn snake about this long.
You remember when?
And my sister, I was in 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was like kindergarten.
Some cool corn snakes.
I like that. My sister was like kindergarten. She's screaming. She's on the toilet. The thing has got its mouth dragging on the ground and moving around because it's starving.
Oh, my nightmare. Thirsty. I hate snakes.
Freaking out,
no, thank you.
And then it starts striking my sister while she's peeing on the toilet. She's in kindergarten. And they're all yelling at me, John, go get your snake.
PTSD.
And this thing is pissed. I gotta save my sister. I'm like scared. I got my dad, everything. I couldn't even grab it. It was like going straight hellfire.
Really?
Yeah. It was dying, man. And luckily the neighbor grabbed that.
It was actually trying to say, help me. Help me.
Yeah,
help me.
Yeah, please take me outside.
Well, you remember at Drumsville place up when they were in a Presidential Heights?
It lived.
Snake. Joel used to keep his snake out, dude. I fucking sat on the couch once and the snake fucking popped up behind me, man. He's like, oh, bro, I think it's right there somewhere, dude. And I'm like, fucking snake pops out of the couch, dude.
Dude, I can tell you the craziest story about snakes. One time,
this is your time, my friend.
I was at court, and I was...
You were at court?
Yeah, in Newport. You go underground, you're sitting in this holding tank while you go to court, and you're sitting with all these people, and, you're going to hear some bullshit there, big time. But I was in there with this guy, too, that's known around here, whatever, and we're listening to this other guy talk, and he's from Hemet, and he had these, like the, what's that movie where they had the swords and they cut each other's heads off?
Highlander.
That was badass. But he had those tattoos on his neck. And
what,
he was
like
a huge,
scar?
Big,
like the dude that had the big scar?
Yeah,
like
they stitched it back on, like Frankenstein.
He was the Kurg or something like that.
But these fuckers used to make acid. He told me how to make acid. That you put the fucking rye seed in a skull container, you break the fan's blades off and just keep it on 2 blades, and then you keep it on there and let it go around and around till it rots, and then you put a half tab of rat poison in there, and drain the oil out.
Just so you guys know, we're not trying to promote any of this.
Right,
I just want to make sure.
I don't know if that's how you do it. This is what I'm hearing in a holding tank in Newport.
Because I just want to make sure. I didn't realize there's a camera watching this, so.
But it's horrible. Actually, the story. This is kind of, I don't even know how to say it, but
and
this
so
wasn't
at the end,
me.
you just turn it around and.
Well, no, they made the acid, but they'd have to test it. So they would go catch a fucking cat or someone's loud little dog that was barking or whatever these sickos out there. Now at this time, my friend Josh and we're like, what? You know, we were like, at one point he's like,
don't know.
Like, let's get him, and then he's like, you know, I would never do that again. And he like, came.
They had to test him.
He was
oh my gosh.
He wasn't bragging about it. He I could tell it scarred him or whatever. But anyways, they would test it on. They They would give the acid to the dog or the cat, put it in a room with a bowl of water, and after it tripped out for 8 hours, if it drank the water and didn't die, then it was good acid. If it was bad acid, it would never drink the water.
It would starve.
But these sick fuckers had 11-foot rock pythons. They would let in the room anyways. Afterwards. Yeah. And we were like, what the fuck?
What's up, Mad Max, dude?
Yeah. And he said that the other guy that was complaining that this is all his friend doing it, the guy that was with us, and he, like, you know, he was like, it was sick or whatever. Like, he was ashamed. But the guy kept the snakes around his kids, he was telling us, like little kids and shit. That's pretty dark. Don't move to Hemet, is all I gotta say. Don't surf there.
Sorry, Hemet, but I agree.
Don't surf at Hemet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I guess you're not going to be surfing.
But my favorite story is when I went to go visit my dad at Eglin Air Force Base the first time I got locked up. And we stopped at the Pizza Hut. You know, I had a bunch
After or
of pizza.
before?
And this is when I had all my breakdancing outfit.
Nice!
Back then. And, but we were like in Ocala.
That came out on the side.
Is
it
Chess King? Back when they had Chess King.
Is it MC Hammer?
Dude, no way. But anyways, we were like in Ocala, this redneck like area of Florida.
Okay.
And my mom locked the keys in the car.
Oh.
And she's all, ask the waitress for a wire hanger. And she comes out like 5 minutes later and she's all, don't worry, the sheriff and the tow truck's on the way. She's all, you called the sheriff? And she's all, kids, let's go. And she grabbed a rock and threw it right through the window, the driver window, like a big old rock. Boom! And the waitress is screaming, what are you doing? And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? So get in the car.
I got a warrant probably or something.
No, she had a bag of weed right in the driver's door. And, you know, that shit, they'll take away your kids and shit for that stupid shit, you know?
Man.
And we're in the middle of Ocala, all these rednecks. Oh, we're sending the tow truck and the sheriff. You know? But, you know, my mom didn't want me to tell that story, but I think that makes her a freedom fighter myself.
There you go.
Freedom fighter.
Get in the car! Boom! I was like 11.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That is.
I was like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And she just pointed. I was like, oh. I barely knew what it was then.
Right.
My sister was smoking it.
Well, we just need to go.
That's funny, man. That's.
That was ballsy. My mom, she's tough. She's Cherokee. She's tough.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just found out we're Cherokee too. So.
Both you guys?
No,
me.
My mom's doing. No, my sister's been doing DNA tests lately because we got some health issues, and like,
Both you guys are Cherokee. Holy shit!
Who the fuck's not
Cherokee Nation?
No.
Apparently, we're all related here. You know, hey. I got a 10. I'm the most 10 out of you fuckers, so at least if it makes sense for me.
That's good shit.
Really? Oh, okay, white man.
No.
Yeah. Actually, I'm more colored than anybody.
I'm kind of.
You're red.
I have red.
I know, man. It's highlights.
It's like.
Although I'm not gonna lie, Walker's a little on the red side right now.
I'm calico.
If you want to see white,
Cheshire cut.
White.
Hey, we're online. You know, you're not gonna need to do that right now, my friend. I love you.
Let's do push-ups.
All right.
Anyways.
Dude, but
I would like to talk about more of those threatening things that people gotta live with and how we have to.
Hey, this is your time, my friend.
Wait,
this is your time.
What do you mean the more threatening things?
Like just
serious matters versus us laughing around.
Like stopthecrime.net. You ever look?
Yes, with that.
Deborah.
Yes, I am familiar with that.
She has a lot of information that people need to look into.
Okay.
Yeah, Alikai, are you familiar?
No.
All right, so we're talking about geoengineering.
Okay, I'm familiar with that. Yes.
You are familiar with
what it is? Yes, but
how about the fires?
Which ones? Australia or Brazil?
The trees lighting up from
the inside. Okay.
And then like the embers walking around to house to burning which one they want to. That's kind of trippy.
So is it controlled?
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't seen footage, but I've seen footage, but I can't say it's not manipulated.
We're just gonna let it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna let it. Yeah. We're gonna let him ride on.
I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to chime in.
No, go ahead.
Because I want to confirm some of what he's saying.
I want to hear
it. Because I too have seen some just like, what do they call it? Safety cam videos or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And it's like what he's saying, where there are flashes and things going along the ground.
They look like they're started or manipulated.
Yes.
With waves.
Now, let me throw a little counter. Let me throw just a fun counter. Just a fun counter to that. But like, for instance, a tornado. The thing, you look at it and, well, maybe even you think that's controlled, but if you look at it, that thing's got a mind of its own where it literally can skip houses.
Well, that's why
it can go around stuff. So, can it be
that's
something?
Why I live where there's
that's why I live where there's earthquakes.
Exactly. I just wanted to
tornadoes are scary.
It's true. But could that fire be something like that?
Yeah, but if you look at what it burned, like it will burn a house, a car, and then there'll be a tree in between it. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what the fuck?
But tornadoes do the same
then
thing.
It will skip a couple houses. No, they don't. There is a random pattern, but it's still a complete pattern.
But
it's not
random enough where you don't know why that house is still up where every other house it took out. That's what I mean, I guess.
Yeah. But,
And
I guess it's
and first things first, guys. I'm not saying
I try
wrong.
not to think like this too, because I think by thinking like that, you bring on more of that reality.
Okay.
But it is a reality.
What is the reality? What are you talking about?
Like that, there's a warfare on the general population.
That really it is manipulated, right?
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. You're saying if I do go down that rail and they come to think I want to believe it, then I have to go all in that it really is manipulated. It's bigger than what I think. Versus,
I don't even want to.
Versus it's a tornado that just does its thing randomly, and you right? I think.
Yeah. Dude, they get in think tanks of how to manipulate. Sit there with all their money and their assets, and they're like, well, how the fuck are we gonna keep these motherfuckers under control? You know.
And
let's give them a phone.
What brings you to that conclusion?
Obama phone.
What brings you to that conclusion though? Like what gets you down that road though? Can I ask? Cause like where are you looking for information to figure out what you're thinking about versus you just fucking spouting this out of your head, right? So where are you going?
It is from a YouTube before it was highly censored. But I mean,
I talked about that actually before a little bit.
I mean, who has really talked to their great grandfather? There's like a split.
Not in a very long time, yeah.
You're lucky, but there's like a split in most families where information is not from an elder told to the next person.
No, you're so spot on because I actually was telling Rusty a story, not to make this about me because it's really about you, but my grandma's about to be 103.
Right.
And we had a really interesting story about my grandpa in World War II and stuff like that. But you're right, because he was bringing up, you're like, he doesn't know really many people. He's heard stories, but not really many people that have an actual tangible connection to that story.
Right, because
right?
you learn it by experience. Someone can tell you, but you know.
Right, because we watch TV
It
shows.
makes a thing happen.
Yeah.
In the universe when you
Well,
learn
it's real though when somebody you can touch says it, versus I watched it on the screen of somebody I don't know, right?
So
it does change it a little bit.
How many generations or
can you go back?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
So, for probably your grandmother is the oldest person that you know, who is 103.
And we were talking about this because you met your grandfather, who was born earlier than my grandma, or your great grandfather, right?
Yes, it was my great grandfather.
He met his great grandfather, who was born in the 1800s.
See, I only
1895 was the oldest one I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my grandma's still alive, and she was born in 1917, but yet she wasn't born as early as he was.
That's
which was still bow and arrows and civil crazy.
My only grandparent
he was telling me about horse and carriage.
That's right. My only grandparent was my grandma Nellie, my mom's mom.
Okay.
And she was hardcore Cherokee, but my dad, he didn't talk to his dad for 30 years until his deathbed.
What's your dad's side?
My dad's side,
Irish
my grandpa had played for the Giants, the New York Giants, and the Chicago Cardinals. Got drafted 46, 47.
Well, good way. I'm glad he brought that up later versus when we asked him about who he is. Or
my relatives, my great aunt started the University of Miami, and the art and history department's named after her. So my grandfather had the Florida Land Development Company. His trust was like $90 million.
And then he sold to Disney. He's
but
like,
see, my
there's
dad,
this place called Orlando. You'll love it.
No, what they did is that my Clifton Meekins, my great grandpa, bought all the land around Miami in the Depression and had a 350-acre cattle farm. Wow. And then they started digging concrete out, and they had a concrete company, Meekins Concrete. Then they started the Florida Land Development Company and started selling the old lakes as housing tracts and putting northern Miami housing tracts up, and they made millions of dollars.
So
they sold the
he
concrete
literally
company
developed Florida in a sense. Then really.
My grandfather's on the Florida House of Representatives.
Wow.
Yeah, not the Senate, the House of Representatives.
Well, I'm glad we got here later.
He did the Right on Red with Bill Graham in 19.
What is the Right on
The
Red?
law. He helped pass the bill with Bill Graham.
Oh, to take a right turn on red
in 1979.
It's a good rule. That's a good rule.
Fuck yeah.
Now, if you could,
who wants to wait?
If we could just take a left on red,
hey,
too,
you know what I like?
On a one-way, you can.
Do you guys like how they've made the yellow lights blink on the left-hand turn?
No.
Whoa.
You don't? Oh, I love that.
Whoa. Do they all do that though? I don't think they all do.
Where do they even do that?
Yeah, where
all of them in town here.
I don't notice them blinking. No.
Dude, if you go
that's a UFO.
No.
That's a Mandela effect, dude. I don't think you're in the same dimension.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about Mandela
effect.
Go right. Hey, hold on. Because we were gonna have fun with this.
We're all gonna be on the watch list.
Go right ahead. What's your view on the Mandela effect? And
I'd like to tell you,
because
I saw that Chinese guy get ran over by the tank. I saw him with my own eyes.
Really?
Yes. I remember watching it, like thinking World War III could start.
I was a sober, I remember him moving and walking away.
Well, you didn't see the live broadcast then, because I was a sober 17-year-old high school kid that didn't smoke pot because I didn't like my dad smoking pot because I thought he was wasting money smoking pot.
Wow.
So I knew what the fuck I was talking about.
I do not remember that guy getting run over.
I know.
I saw him get. They killed fucking thousands of people. And they will never tell it.
No, bro, that's why this is effect. I'm like,
Mom, I remember going, Mom, he is dead.
Hold on.
You're not going to find it.
Anybody else need any water?
You're not going to find that on the internet.
One more thing. No, that's very interesting because that's the whole point of this conversation, and it's not to really argue with you as the guest.
Yeah.
I remember that one differently. That's the whole point of this.
What I don't get is all the weird ones about logos. Like, why would they do that? What's the point of that?
Or how about what?
Or we're all
the
about-
mirror one. I like that one the most.
Or the sun could nova every 360.
Mirror on the wall. That's the one I just think is so fun.
So what? Who was the one that gave out Publishers Clearinghouse?
That's a good one too. So just so you guys know, obviously we got to make sure you guys all know we're talking about the Mandela effect, which is literally about a weird manipulation of time and space, because people's memories of what they remember something being and then what they find out is completely different. And whether or not something's changed, no one really knows. But that's the whole point of the conversation.
You only know if you've seen it.
But he's right,
real.
because I'm with him, because I literally thought Johnny Carson's sideman, which is who?
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon. I distinctly remember him.
I remember him.
I remember him being the one that would be doing it. It was all about it. But if you go online right now,
I believe
he has nothing to do with it somehow. And you're like, what is going on here?
Dude, my dad was in jail the first time I was 11 years old. I made my mom buy me like 7 subscriptions, Bass magazine, like.
And Ed McMahon.
I had a Ninja magazine.
And Ed McMahon was definitely the guy that
was the one where you could buy all the.
I got
Ninja
dude,
stars
I was psyched on that.
Hey, but are we on
surf and skate?
Are we on the same page though? Ed McMahon.
And a BMX Plus.
Ed McMahon was the one that was going to give you that check.
That was Ed McMahon, and I thought I was getting a check, and I was going to get my dad out of jail.
Well, according
I'm like, Mom, you get these magazines, I get my dad out of jail.
According to the internet, Ed McMahon wasn't the one that did that.
Right? Motherfucker.
According to the internet, Ed McMahon had nothing to do with it somehow, dude.
Right. So.
When you put on your clothes in jail, all of them say Bob Barker.
What?
Yeah, no shit.
Really?
And they're all exported from China, and they all say Bob Barker.
Like Bob Barker, come on down?
Hey, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were skating?
Oh my goodness, the Price is Right?
Rusty.
Yeah, the price is right there.
Hold on. Rusty, when we were skateboarders, they were influenced by baggy clothes, and the size was extra large Bob. It was just called Bob.
Oh, no way.
Could that have been because of Bob
I don't
Barker
know,
clothing?
but that's interesting. Go look shit like that.
Because it was always made after jail clothes, right? Because that's where the big shit came from.
Like Ben Davies and stuff
extra
with
large
all
Bob. Could that have been influenced by what you just
I
said
remember
about
you
Barker?
dressed like that.
All of us did. Hell yeah, 100%.
I did
That's
too.
interesting.
Size
So,
50.
Talk
Yeah.
about
Giant
influence
clothing.
and things. So I was listening to. Are you familiar with Dan?
This is better than I thought.
Have you heard of Dan Carlin's Hardcore History?
No.
Are you familiar with that podcast?
But I wish people watch Ashes Loga's Subverted History. Ashes Loga.
Well, hold on. Let's let him go. What is that though? If you're gonna bring it up,
It's a guy that he does ancient European history and what truly happened, like with a lot of stuff that's, you think like this is all Roman. It's not all Roman, and like
right.
Romans got their ass
and you can
kicked a
tell
lot.
the difference in the architecture.
Right.
Actually, one is built.
And I don't want to get
on
into
top
all
of
the
other.
older
It's
shit
very
that they say is not as old and all that, or tartans or anything like the forget stuff they're trying to erase from history.
Right.
But he's one of the best people to watch on YouTube. Yes.
And
what's his name again?
Asha Logos.
How do you spell that?
ASHALOGOS.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know, man.
And it's more like bedtime stories. Like you can listen to some interesting history as you're like chilling out.
We're recording this, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's why I'm the moderator here.
Oh my God! Put this over there.
So that's really interesting. So hey,
That's all right.
we're interviewing.
It's good.
Okay.
I'm trying to be the moderator, but like
We're gonna have a jam later.
You're my guest. Me and you are we're the
Buy-zone surfboards
Okay,
Zongs.
no. So yeah.
with speed lamb glassing.
Right on.
Interesting. So yeah,
Super
What is
fast.
speed lamb glossing?
Vacuum bagged.
Vacuum bag.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No, we're going to commercial. We're gonna keep. Well, you take the plastic and put the air nozzle to it with the reservoir and suck the resin out, so it adheres to the foam really good.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
and you don't have no extra resin, just like if you really squeegeed it out, like a good glass.
Do they break?
No, guaranteed for life. or trade-ins. I have a bigger team than Astrodeck.
That's awesome.
Man, you want but yeah, like as far as you guys are in trouble, the sun could nova from anywhere from 2025 to 2034 or 2043. And I found that out when I was 16,
you know what?
and that's when I stopped. Well, we could jump up in a dimension, whatever. Or Nerebu comes through and we get the plasma field and melts us all. But either way, something's going to happen. And it comes at a regular, like sacred geometry. It comes at certain times. You know? I read this book where they did the math wrong for the years with leap years and how old calendars are different calendars. And this guy was a NASA, he made the outer space radar for the Gemini and Apollo missions, right? And he worked at TRW. And he wrote this book, Our Ancestors Were Outer Space, gave all the megalithic measurements, all this shit, you know, that I'd never heard of for. And I was 16. I stopped going to school. I was like, holy shit, for 2 weeks. But it was like, around this time, there was going to be a NOVA event, or a pole shift, where
but it's just it's distracting.
Sorry for distracting.
Okay. It only happens at
It's really the
the
focus
date line,
line.
195, or at 105 longitude. It only happens at those 3 places, but you don't know which one.
And what is this? Sorry, I'm just jumping.
Last time was China and India.
Oh, what's
And
this?
then so it can go at a different spot the next time, but only at those ones.
Only at those 3 positions. And then if you're at the side not facing the sun, it's gonna be you'll be in the dark. But the side facing the sun, the ocean's gonna evaporate. But if the world stops spinning, you get a 2-mile tidal wave. You gotta be 2 miles up in a cave, son, or you're not gonna make it.
That's a good point. What do you think? Let's throw some fun random stuff at you, like.
Sorry, I'm getting a little tipsy.
What about flat Earth, man? What do you think about that shit, dude?
Man, I don't even like to argue about that. I think that's all bullshit. I think the Earth's got a fucking hole that runs through the middle of it, from the North Pole to the South Pole. What does it matter? People live inside the Earth. One time I was.
So you think that there's that's what
I was at the
people would
Denver
be, right?
airport. Okay.
Oh, me too. I've been there too. I've seen
And
what you're talking about.
I was flying back here,
Ugh.
and I was in the bar, and some kid was totally freaked out. And he's talking to this old guy. He's asking the old guy just to get him to a regular cop, someone off the Air Force base, right?
Yep.
He's like, no problem, son. I can take care of this.
Okay.
And we're gonna get you out of here. The bartender's in on it. Everybody's like talking. Oh yeah, they'll help you out. Blah, blah. They go walking out. I'm like, what's going on? You need to get to my plane anyways. So I'm walking, following him. All of a sudden, they're just fucking. He's dogpiled, but like 7 airport security guys, you know. And this guy's fighting for his life. Like his eyes are this big, and he's screaming bloody murder. And they're ripping his clothes.
Yeah.
And like more than 15 people gathered around, and there was like I was compelled to jump in. That's how gnarly this was.
When you said 15 people jump in, was it
Well, like
police?
just people that were getting on planes saw this going down and like started coming in like natural instinct. Well, what the fuck? And then there was a good group of people. Most of them are old. But I was compelled to jump in, and I would never do nothing that stupid. You know, I'm trying to catch my plane and go back to California. I get the fuck out of Colorado. But and I didn't even know what was going on at the time. And I didn't read the books about the Colorado airport or any of this shit before.
I was just gonna ask you.
No, I didn't know
I do.
dick. I didn't even.
I've seen
look
the
at
murals. I've fucking seen.
I didn't even look at the mural.
I've seen the.
I had to look on YouTube to look at the mural.
I've seen the
I didn't even
Mason
look at
sign.
it there. I was getting on my plane.
I've
flown out
and drunk and getting on my plane.
Are you familiar with
Now I am.
Colorado?
The horse in the front. And I've seen the shows where they say all this stuff's underneath.
There's masonry everywhere. There's Mason logos everywhere, and I'm like,
yeah, but this was scary, real shit. Because I didn't know any of that shit, and I was compelled to jump in for this guy just from like what I was visualizing and feeling, and they like ripped his clothes, drug him out of there. The old guy's trying to stand up. Hey, well, no, you guys can't do this.
Okay.
And all this stuff, and
yeah.
fuck, but none of us jumped in. We should have fucking started the revolution right there.
So then what happened?
But
Did the guy just get taken off?
they took it off. No one knew what the fuck happened to him. But I talked to the old man afterwards.
Police underground.
Yes, exactly. I talked to the old man afterwards, and I'm like, what the fuck was the matter with him? That kid was on drugs. He's on acid or something, huh? That was crazy. And he's like, no, he seemed pretty level-headed, sober guy. But he was talking some really crazy stuff.
Airports
and
are
they
weird, right?
just drug him out of there.
Airports are
I'm
weird.
talking to this old man with glasses, you know, button-up shirt, seemed normal dude. You know, I forgot where he's flying. And he's all, but he was talking about aliens and underground shit at the airport or whatever. I didn't even pay attention at the time. I was like, do you believe in aliens? He's all, no. And I'm all, well, I do. And I went to go try to get on my plane. I'm like, fuck, I can't do nothing for him. He's gone. And I didn't even realize how fucking serious it was until I read books and stuff. But when I think about the fear, I didn't know nothing
about that, John.
When I saw the fear in his eye, and I was literally compelled as a human being to intervene. And I don't, like, most people just stick to themselves. Yeah. No one wants to help each other out.
Especially in an airport where you just want to get home. You just want to get home. You're burnt
out.
On
a journey.
You're burnt out. You're like, fuck, I'm done. I'm obviously leaving because I'm not going to, unless you're going to your destination. But
I ended up missing my plane.
Wow.
And I fucking got in a fight or argument with non-race attendant with being a dickhead.
Okay.
And I was a little, I had a good buzz, but
and you're ready to go home,
he told me come back within 40 minutes, and it was 40 minutes till my plane still leave, or 38, but the plane was already boarded. I'm like, you guys
I
boarded
think
early.
we can all agree airports suck. Airports suck. Airports suck.
But I think I could have ended up downstairs too. But then he found out my uncle who sold, or my cousin on my mom's side, he sold all this oil lease in Alaska and has a picture shaking George Bush's hand or whatever. He was the one that bought my ticket. You know, they're so tech, they can check all that out. Am I going to get in trouble? Putting this motherfucker downstairs down, too?
If that's true, because my cousin was the press secretary for Barbara Bush.
Yeah, because I got,
We got Barbara Bush in my family right there. So me and you are connected already to the Bushes.
Yeah,
we're building brands.
I'm not eating no baby glands.
But we we'll put on owl heads and fucking throw.
I'll go to the owl thing.
We'll throw the owls. We'll throw the owls.
We can burn the big owl, whatever.
We'll go to North California and fucking burn a big owl.
But I heard there's tons of chicks up there during that whole month.
Really?
Yeah, they ship them in.
But let's not get fucking.
Hey, no fornication. Save the seed.
I'm gonna say it right now. FC didn't
bring it
kill
up
himself.
your spine. Get it to your brain oil. Bring it back down.
FC didn't kill himself.
40 days. 40 days.
Let me ask you this.
What are you talking about?
You don't know that Santos Bostonelli guy or whatever? Save the seed.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and every 2.5 every month your sun's. The moon is in your sun sign, so for 2.5 days of that month, you have to refrain. It's good to fast, refrain from any evil thought, any fornication, anything like that, because that's when your seed is made. You know, the powerful shit that makes a baby. You know,
that's when your shit's all going off.
That's when your gonads are filling up.
So he's going off like a lunar calendar in a way.
It's this Santos Bostonelli guy. He's super fucking smart.
So wait, what is that? Say that.
He does it. He's the one that talks about the cell salt.
He says there's like a
you guys
lunar
ever
calendar
took cell
that
salts?
is basically telling your body.
You ever took cell salts?
No. What's a cell
salt?
Cell
salts are the 12 minerals that your body needs that are not organic to Earth.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, like plasma or whatever.
Yes. I don't know.
The bioplasma is not as good as taking cell salts.
There's shit our body needs that isn't.
So when you're in your mom's womb,
it makes us look like aliens to begin with.
When you're in your mom's womb for 9 months, you get those.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But when the 3 months, don't listen.
There's something that's produced between
12
a child and mother that you can't find on Earth.
12 trace minerals.
But you can find a mineral that's produced.
But you only get 9. Yeah, so you have to replace the 3.
I know what he's talking about.
That you're not in your mom's belly. It's just simple
I
science.
don't know if we're explaining it correctly.
Christians, all kinds of people knew about it forever. But the Santos Passanelli guy does it with astrology and tells you. And the
How
Germans,
to get a mineral?
the German scientists in
Which
1842,
kind of you could lead it down a road that we're all aliens in a sense, right?
They're like
because there's stuff we
trays.
produced that isn't here.
yeah, you can't get it from here, like
Well,
iron.
where are we supposed to get this mineral?
No. Let's just say we
You
came
need
from
to start
another
taking
planet.
it,
No. What if we
you're
came from
short.
another planet?
You're short. I can tell you right now.
What if we
I
came from
must
another
be.
planet?
I mean, I don't
Let's just say we came from another
understand,
planet where that mineral was abundant, and then we moved
Okay.
here. So the
My-
only place you'd find it is still in us.
See,
Is
my
it-
mom had
is it
health
like
food stores. I got this
Superman
shit
with,
as a
like,
kid.
kryptonite?
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
good. No, that's a good example.
I
It
used to
only
have
affects them.
I took it all the time as a kid. I ate
Okay.
brown rice, and took cell
But you
salts.
say
This was all
it,
normal.
like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
it? What is
Interesting.
it?
That's why I'm smart and I still have hair, even though I try not to. But yeah, I'm trying to say there's 12 of these elements, and you only get 9 for one is related to each month
He's right.
of the year, and you only get the 9 that you're in your mom's belly, and the 3 that you're out, you're short,
Okay.
and they're
What
listed
three are
in your.
those?
You gotta look it up. Like mine's like phosphorus and phosphorus sulfate, a different one.
Oh,
sell
so
them.
you mean it changes based on when you were born?
Exactly.
So you're,
So
saying
you're
it's
missing
like
3
a,
months that you weren't getting them from your mother.
And each mineral is
I'm not
connected
even that
to-
And much
I
of an
thought
expert.
you were saying that
Well,
these minerals.
I
don't
know the
exist
3
on
I gotta
Earth or
take.
something.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
well,
there
no.
could
dude,
be.
if they don't exist, how
Then why do we
am I
need 'em?
supposed
Yeah,
to get
no.
'em?
But let's,
No, it's
but
not
also
that. It's
no,
not
well,
that.
but you can also make it a little farther that some of those minerals were brought here from Earth from meteorites and
Yeah,
other things, though.
and like
In
our
a sense-
ancestors were
in a
from outer
sense-
space.
Yeah, they might not
Like
have
that
been.
book
They
that
might
made you
have
quit
been.
going to school.
Exactly.
Written by the NASA
Yeah.
NASA radar specialist for the Apollo and Gemini, Charlatan or whatever it is. Out of print, of course.
Which one is this? What are you
Our
talking
ancestors come from outer space. They did all the megalithic site, the cubit, relate this cubit to this, and and it does the great year. It starts getting the great year, and that's what I was saying about my predictions.
Is this the one that's like 1,000 years is a year?
Right. Like they go through a bunch of calendars. No, it was written in 70s.
So it's
It's
like,
out.
is it like dog years for
was he
humans?
saying
There
though,
was-
that
yeah,
the,
he was
the
saying-
great year is actually an epoch or
No, he was giving it exact science, like 25.
really?
Yeah, but he was showing how with Jesus' birthday and with other stuff and how they're not counting the same calendar. How this
Okay.
is the real date.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
and like the
okay,
Mayan
okay.
thing hasn't even happened yet, and so much stuff.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of different calendars on different
Yeah,
types.
people went on the moon calendar. You know.
It doesn't all equal the exact same. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're on Roman calendar, but
Well, and
it
just
wasn't
for
always like
instance,
that.
I thought it was
For-
Gregorian.
That's Roman. Whatever,
Yeah,
same
and Roman added. They had to add the leap
I
year
could
in it
be
just to make
totally
it
wrong,
fucking make
though.
sense because it
thing.
wasn't.
Yeah,
gonna
so
work.
if you go back and count all the leap years,
the leap years.
it's like 28 years for every 1,000 years or something. I've
That's
done
why
all
they,
this
they,
math
they
myself.
figured out. They figured out the math won't work, so like we gotta fucking put in that leap year, dude. Which is he's right. You can literally count it back.
But we're off like a month anyways.
I know.
It's crazy.
Well,
I can't eat it.
but right, let's
Can't eat it,
but let's get
right?
crazy. Let's get crazy.
I don't
we
even
we just
know.
that's all invented anyways. Let's be
Grow
real.
microgreens.
That's all invented. Everything,
That's
all
a
that.
good, that's a good suggestion.
That is a good.
Go
suggestion.
serve, grow microgreens.
What are the ones
Yes.
that taste like mustard?
Mustard greens.
Yeah, right.
Is that
When
mustard?
Is that a trick
No.
question? I don't know.
We had
No,
a
it's like
we
really
had a
spicy.
7-stack
It tastes.
no, what are those? I know what you're
But
saying.
mustard is a tree.
No, they have mustard greens too. They have mustard sprouts.
Mustard's a tree. It's
A
not, it's not,
sprout?
it's not,
I'm
it's
sorry,
not the weed
not-
that
not
comes
mustard.
up.
Mustard. It's like a,
Anything can.
You-
A
you're
clover.
thinking of
Clover.
You're thinking of something else.
pepper.
It's clover. It's some red clover.
Hold on, I think Rusty's thinking about something else.
No, he's talking about those sprouts.
No, yeah, I'm talking about sprouts.
Okay.
Alfalfa sprouts
I
are the
don't know.
best,
They're
and that's
good.
why they don't sell them anywhere.
Well, they're good, but my daughter had alert
Oh,
allergies
they
to them.
do.
Like
Alfalfa sprouts, they sell them at the grocery store.
Where? They
I get
always mixed in with something else.
no, I get them on my sandwiches.
Where? Oh yeah, you can get them on a
Billy-
sandwich.
No, they have a big. Billy's got a big pile of them. They throw it in your sandwich.
Where can you buy them in a package though?
Sprouts.
At Ralph's.
They got them
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
Sprouts pretty good organic stuff.
I
Too.
never can find them.
They're over if you walk in.
I always see the
Okay,
broccoli.
we're going in the weeds. Sorry about
Anyways,
that,
I had
guys.
7
Because they're like, hey, I'm gonna follow Rusty into a
But
fucking
alfalfa sprouts saved my life. I had a 7-stack alfalfa sprout
Okay.
machine when I was 13, and we just grew them. Big old things, and I eat those like with cream cheese and a sandwich. More protein than a hamburger, dude. So good.
Yeah,
I took that to school.
I don't
Everybody making fun of me at lunch.
too.
Well, you're a vegetarian,
Yeah.
so it makes
Why
sense.
are you eating that? That's gross.
Yeah.
Big dummies.
What, just have a bunch of mustard on there too?
Yeah,
Mustard is the highest protein condiment.
Really?
My brother always ate that.
well, honey's a weird one too, because it's like,
Honey's good for you.
it's super good, but it doesn't, it never spoils.
Right.
It will never spoil ever. It'll like.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
like this super like sugar content that'll just sit there like for the rest of its life. Which
I
is
always
awesome.
tripped out when I first moved here and I
love
lived
honey.
like short
So does
cliffs.
Sadie.
And I'd ride on the tomato fields and see all the mustard plants.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
why
like-
when he said tree, I'm like, I grew up with mustard plants like you did. I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I didn't. I grew up in
They're
more
Florida.
like-
they're
'cause
big bushes.
Where the outlets are now used to be called the tomato fields, and there would be a bunch of mustard plants through there. And shit.
And that's where I sat and read the end of that book and decided I wasn't going to school no more. Overlooking the waves right down the cliff.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, fuck this. I'm going to start a band.
But
Like, why do I want to go to college for? We're going to have a micronova in 35 years. What the fuck?
Right.
That's awesome.
No.
Hey, so just
You
to,
never know.
Hey,
Never
just
know.
to kind of keep it on it because of, we're probably gonna wrap this up pretty soon,
Mhm.
and just to make sure, what are your last thoughts that you'd like to get out, man? Like, cause I feel like we've been all over the place.
I know,
It's
this
been
is
pretty
crazy.
awesome. It's been a great
We're
conversation.
probably gonna have another.
We
I agree.
could have part 2. But I just want to make sure that like
I don't know, what is-
was there
what is
some
she-
was there something that you were thinking on when you came here that
I always
you really
thought
wanted
you
to get
were-
off your chest? Because that's
No.
kind of the point of it. It's really
I
good
try
interview.
not to do that. Like, if I think about what I'm going to... I don't know, not that I
Yeah, but-
do a lot of preaching or anything, but
No.
or
But
talking on-
how often is it really about you talking about what you want to talk about versus you in an environment of just bringing it up? We're here to listen to you. So
yeah,
like
that's true.
you know what I mean. In a way, it's different. This is
It's
literally
usually the opposite.
That's my point. It is. But this is our chance to
I
say,
don't wanna
hey,
hear what
is there
you have to
something
say.
you really came here with an agenda? We just wanted to get out,
No.
and that's the fun part. I
Or
mean,
not
like,
even.
I
an
just think
agenda,
that,
but-
like,
no, maybe
everybody
you did.
should be more patient and be able to communicate with each other. There's no, like, when I was younger, I mean, everybody's programmed to think war, fight, and it's a bunch of bullshit. It mainly just hurts yourself. Like, there's no reason we can't have a equal value for every person in the communication all the way across
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
I agree
That's
with that, man.
that's awesome. Alikai and I actually have talked about that on
Why
a
not?
couple of occasions.
Well,
It
What-
almost
every-
happened in 1991 after
mean,
Wayne's
well-
World.
just.
Everybody was so happy.
Well, no, like you're right. But Rusty's 100. I know where Rusty's.
just talking
Yeah.
about tolerance.
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Tolerance.
Yeah.
Even though I hate that bumper sticker.
But our whole show.
Oh, I don't hate
Right.
anything.
Our
But
whole
it's weird.
show,
It's weird.
this
I
show
agree
is
with
really
you.
about, and that's what me and Rusty like started off with. We wanted to make sure it was called Common Ground. It was for
Right.
a reason that like people that just would not listen to something else or something different. We're like, dude, it's just let's find something common.
And that's what's cool about listening to your elders too, and like having generations of
And
knowledge
Rusty's been
passed
really
down.
about that lately.
Because then you're not just getting it from an advertisement or something else. You don't know their motives, really. Because love, it's not gonna lie to you. It's good shit.
No, it's great, man.
Yeah.
I think
my glass is empty, but
I think we're really good. I think we should wrap this up pretty soon. But I do want to give you the opportunity, and Rusty does too, because like we've been our goal is really like we've been doing a weekly.
I got another question.
But
Please,
don't drop
no,
in on me.
no.
I'll drown you.
Go ahead, because I wanted to.
I got another question
All right.
for you.
Go
Bob.
right ahead.
I want to know what you think about women.
I think they're beautiful.
This is our question from earlier, yes.
Oh man, I do too. That's great. Anyway,
What else?
I think you know what? Our
man.
joke is we know you're from Florida.
Yeah.
And you can just randomly run into it, rub a girl, and all of a sudden she's pregnant. So you got to watch out for you.
I like to get as
You're
many
very close
people
to a
pregnant
Hispanic
as
person.
possible.
Apparently,
I'm letting them.
apparently.
This
Sorry,
is the
I'm
human
just
race.
kidding.
We're all in a race. I want to get you pregnant.
Well, apparently he's in a race to get you pregnant. So please, for the audience, do not listen to that. Or watch out.
My
Literally
email
don't
is-
bump into My email is. Well, hey, I think
too good.
with beyond a doubt, I want to speak for me, and I'll speak for Rusty a little bit here. But we want to say this was amazing. I can't thank you more than enough to come over and fucking
Yeah.
do this
It was
for
a
us.
pleasure.
Definitely.
A weird
I know.
deal, but I love you guys. I think it
I
might
know,
be funny.
and we're venturing into new worlds, and we're trying to do this, and we really appreciate you
And-
being the first person to kind of open up and just have a fun conversation with us.
I'm a little surprised that like everybody's kind of like. I wonder if everybody knows the stuff we're talking about. You
We
know?
don't know, and that's the point of this.
Yeah.
No, that's the point of this. Or really, if they do, can we find
Or
a common
if-
ground?
right.
If we can't find a middle ground that makes sense, because hopefully,
If people can talk and show the evidence calmly and like not say, "Oh, that's whatever," that's the devil's work or whatever, like.
yeah. The goal really is that people might disagree with a lot of things, but they might listen to you talk about it and go, you know what? Even if they agree with one thing of what you said out of
That would
everything
be
tonight,
great.
then
That'd be
we found out where to start from, right? We
Yeah.
just found a seed of common ground, and that's kind of what the whole point of this thing was about.
Right.
Just is literally finding, and yeah,
Find-
I commend you guys for doing this. Like,
Hey, well, thanks
you know?
for coming, man. I've had a great time.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's been fun.
I told
You
Alikai
guys are
before too, and this is really neat. I've
We're
heard,
goofy now.
I've heard a lot of bits and pieces, but then you kind of fill in some gaps,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And especially in something like this, because we do not have long form conversations
Yes.
anymore.
Right.
it's true.
And we
You
can't even
know?
concentrate that long.
Right.
You
Yeah. And
Hey,
you
hey,
can only
hey,
watch
hey.
like a 10-second video.
And we all think we know each other, but then when people bring out their story, you go, there's so much more to that person that I really didn't know.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, Bong moved here, and in my mind, I'm like, Bong grew up with Jerome. He was probably here fucking all through
Oh,
high
yeah.
school. But no, you came here later. You went through fucking. So it really
And you
shows.
can manipulate your reality by the choices you make, for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
But you know what? I
Some
think,
bad, some good.
I think we're gonna wrap it up right now, just to make sure that we don't get too crazy.
Don't breathe the dirty air.
And we'll probably be back for part 2 with our friend John Kearns, aka the
Facial
Bong.
recognition is real.
And I'm right there. I'm gonna call it a night.
right on.